Nick. Hey cuties, I'm Lanickia and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is the Young and the Restless edition. All right, guys, let's get right into it. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to have to give this a 7. It was just solid to me. Nothing just out of the ordinary. It's just a solid episode. All right, let's move forward. So we see Billy and Chelsea. So they are speaking. They run into each other at the park, and they're just speaking. They're having a conversation, and she's a little embarrassed about, the kiss and everything with him. And he just tells her, "I wish you would reconsider doing the podcast on your own. I feel like you're missing your calling and everything." And she you know what, she wanted to do it with him, and she was on the right path. And right now I don't know if it's the writers that they just don't know what to do with Chelsea, or if it is that she's just all over the place. But she just tells Billy, she just feels lost and she just doesn't know what she's going to do. And he blames Adam for it and everything. But I don't really think has anything to do with Adam, because Chelsea and Adam had a really nice conversation. I feel like she's just in a place, that where I feel like Chelsea really wants a family. She wants the husband. She wants to raise their child, Connor, together, because she does ask Billy about, hey, have you talked to Victoria about Johnny, and telling him that I'm his birth mother. And he says Victoria's out of town. That's not a conversation I want to have over the phone. So he hasn't gotten to it yet. And she's just like, she feels like she wants him to know and everything. Chelsea's just all over the place, to be quite honest with you. But anyways, that's pretty much what's going on with her. She's just spinning her wheels. She doesn't know. And then we go to Nate and Imani. So Nate and so with Nate and Imani, we see that she's back in town. She says Amanda and Devon went to be with her mom, and Amanda wanted to stay a little longer, so she was cool with that. And so she and Nate sit down. They I believe they first meet at Society, then they end up going and having a sit down at at Crimson Lights. Then they go to Society. Anyways, they end up having a conversation about everything that's going on with him. Her mother is still in a coma. She thanks him for being support. And then they talk about his difficulties at Chancellor Winters and how everything is going for them, and he's just overwhelmed with dealing with Devon. And he says every time he has an idea, Devon shoots it down. He tells her about the festival idea, and then he tells her that Elana said, well, why don't you just quit? Why don't you just let Devon just, have this job, come back to medicine and do that? And she says, are you going to quit? This is Imani. And he says, no, his position has been filled, and he's past medicine. He wants to stick it through. He told his cousins he would be there to help him, and that's exactly what he wants to do. And he says, and I get it, Elana is just looking out for my happiness. And so Imani gives him advice, which to me, stop taking advice from Imani. But she tells him, with Devon out of town, you need to go big. You need to really make your statement, she said, because when you did that at the launch party, you had so much respect, and Devon couldn't ignore it. So you need to go big again. And I said, this is not the right move, ma'am. This is not the right move, but Nate's listening to her. So then we see Lily and Elana, and Elana just lets Lily know, I'm not going to hold y'all long on this. Elana lets Lily know that, Lily just tells Elana, I'm happy to have you. Your numbers are going to be astronomical. This is going to be a good move having Ask MD with us now. And Elana is happy to be there. And then they talk about Nate, and Elana just says, can I go off the record, just friends? And you probably won't like what I have to say. And then Lily is like, of course. She said, I told Nate to quit. And Lily is like, what? And she said, listen, I'm the one who has to listen to him be unhappy. I'm the one who has to listen to him vent. I'm the one that sees how upset he is. So I told him, if it's making you this miserable, quit. And I said, you know what? I understand, because at the end of the day, she is his partner and everything. And so Lily's like, well, what was his response? And she said, he's not going to quit. He wants to stick it out. But there is definitely tension between he and Devon. And Lily said she's going to try her best to manage it. And Elana just tells her, I don't think, I keep your hope to a distance because I don't see it happening anytime soon. So at this point, Lily and Billy talked because she had called him earlier, but he didn't pick up because he was with Chelsea, child. So then she just, Mila, are we gonna? You want to do? You want to be the co-host? So anyways, Lily and Billy talking, and so she tells him about Devon, and he's like, oh my gosh, I don't know, Devon and Nate, and he was like, I know you can manage it. She says, I'm gonna manage it. And then she says, well, where were you? And he says he was with Chelsea. And she's not thrilled about it. She said, y'all didn't kiss her. And, he was like, no, I think she's just lost at this point. And she says, are you sure you want to do, COO with me? And he says, I am committed to you. He tells Chelsea the same thing. I'm committed to being COO, even though Chelsea says, I don't feel like you're more creative during the podcast. But anyways, he tells Lily, I'm committed to you, and this is what I want to do. And then when he hugs her, he's not committed because his eyes are, his eyes are not happy. And so then we see Adam and Victor. And Adam does let Victor know that he has decided to work for Jack at Jabot, excuse me. He has decided to work for Jack at Jabot, and he's happy. He says, and Adam, Victor thinks that this is a shot. He says, Jack has tried to bring me down and he failed miserably. And Adam said, listen, Jack is the one who told me to let all the vengefulness. Wait, yeah, Adam said, Jack is the one who told me to let all the vengefulness go. He's the one who told me to stop being that way towards your family. Just let it go or whatever and move on. Be more productive with your time. And he says, so, Adam is just pretty much like, I was going to come for you. So you better be glad I went ahead and took Jack up on his offer and decided that I'm going to work for Jabot and be happy. But Victor is not happy for him. And instead of just seeing this as, okay, I'm happy you're working for Jabot, but let's talk about our father and son relationship or whatever, Victor just sees this as Adam trying to sabotage and Adam trying to get back at him, and that's not that's not the case. That's not how Adam feels. At least that's not what we're seeing right now. If anything changes, then that's the change. But as of right now, Adam seems like he really wanted a relationship with his father. He didn't get it, and he's just moving on. And he says he's going to take after his mother, ma'am. He's going to take after his mother and he's going to move on. He's not going to he's going to remove Victor from his life. And he says, your mother is the one who wanted you to Wilson, and you're a Newman and all this. And Adam says, yeah, but I don't want to be. He says, yeah, I could be all of this, but I can't run your company. And Adam just can't get over the fact that Victor pretty much used him all summer long. And he can't get over that fact. And it is what it is. He leaves. And then he runs into Chelsea at the park. And she says, I want to take Connor to see my mother in, I believe her mother's in Wisconsin or somewhere. And she wants to take Connor. And that's it with them. It was just real quick. So then we see Mariah and Tessa, and they're going to work with Christine. Is it Christina? Anyways, they're going to work with them to try to get custody. Get an adoption of a baby because they want a child. The lawyer they try to hire was not supportive, and so they said she would be supportive, and so they're going to go see if she would help them. I'm not going to hold you long on that. That was pretty much it. Then we see Nick and Sharon, and he tells her about, talking to Adam, and they, have something in common as far as being men that have, even though it was an accident, they have killed someone, and how Adam told him, you need to go seek therapy. And Sharon says, I don't think that's a bad idea, but Nick's not ready to do that. And he just says, like, he's not growing closer, emotionally to Adam, but he understands him more. And then Faith comes in. She's getting ready for college. They're so excited for her, but they're also sad. And Sharon's having a hard time, but it'll be okay. And then we see that Mariah and Tessa, they give Faith a gift for her going away, but they say don't open it now because it will make them all emotional. And she says, okay, I won't. And y'all, that was pretty much The Young and the Restless today. I know I didn't hold you long on the last few people, but it wasn't much to that story. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you tomorrow for another episode of What Happened on the Soaps, The Young and the Restless edition. Goodbye.